Welcome to the Rock Talk Podcast. I am your host, Mark, and I'm here with co host Nate and our very special guest, Sean, aka Captain Cool Whip. What's going on, fellas?
Howdy. How are ya?
Hello. Yeah.
Try to get this thing up.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it live up too. Is it live?
Yeah, it's live. All right. There we go. See if we can swap out the media.
Uh,
No, I don't want to keep playing it.
how do I get to it?
There we go.
Ooh,
Should
this
just
is
pop
cool.
up on.
Oh,
Should just pop up. Yeah. That'd be even cooler if you just like sliding in people's screens. It'd be neat. And just show up on dates.
There he is. He's on mine. Welcome. Hey, he's on my house.
How's everybody going?
seriously, I don't know how to get to this thing.
Pull it up. I'll drop you a link in Discord real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do that because mine's not pulling up either. And I want to see.
Yeah. Why
I wanna
not
s-
showing?
I want to see us.
Let me because I see it on. Nope. Keep it going. Let's go.
I got it. I think. No, I don't. No, I didn't. I was just kidding.
I don't want to go there. Why is it not? Oh, wait. Here we go. Share. Copy.
There he is.
Dropped it
Is
in
it up?
Discord. Dropped in Discord.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
This thing. Let's do this
Video
little thing.
unavailable. The video is private.
Oh, wait. Why is it private? Let me go. To creator dashboard. It's always shit to learn.
Absolutely. This fucking the techie part of this is it's the shitstorm.
Try it, and I'll try it.
Publish. We should be live now. Let's go.
We're on live. There it is. Oh,
We
hell
there.
yeah! Now I'm
Let's
just gonna
go.
copy pasta these to people.
Let's do this damn thing. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, boys.
We're in here. We're in like film, yeah. What's up,
That
yeah?
works. That works. Okay.
What's going on, guys?
Cool. All right, we out here.
We out here.
I think we're out here. I don't know. Personally, I'm in here, but
How's everybody's week been? Month? It's been a month since we podcasted last, Nate. What the fuck, man?
yeah, life, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Moves too
Pop over
fast.
here. Pop over here going to what, Las Vegas or some shit.
That was yeah. So I went to Vegas, right? Couple days. I saw some family. We went to dinner. Awesome time. Good stuff. And then we just stayed in the hotel, the casino, everything, just to kind of relax because the anxiety of the strip was way too much. I had a little panic attack down on Fremont Street. That was the last day I went out, and then but it was we had a blast. Like the hotel had a movie theater in it, it had a casino in it, it had restaurants in it, it had pools. Like we didn't have to go anywhere. It was awesome. And it was really nice to just kind of relax with my wife and just fucking chill for a little bit. And I just want to say, for everybody who gave me my time away, big thank you, you two included. I really really appreciate it. I was so excited to get back and work, you know. And when you asked me to do this, I was fucking just ecstatic. But I needed that time to just like disconnect, and then it was perfect. It was absolutely wonderful, and back ready to do it again. You know, now the battery's back full.
Well, that's good. That's what we need, right?
Absolutely.
I was able to get away myself and actually
Yeah.
ended up taking a little trip down to Florida to hit up some Disney World. And
See, yours sounds like stress, but the company
Oh,
that you were
man.
with was amazing, right?
It
Like the
was.
people.
It was. But it was amazing to be able to, watch that moment in my daughter's history that she was able to march with the marching band through Magic Kingdom, leading the Disney characters on their parade on that day. So that was, that definitely tied everything together and made it well worth being
That's
in that
awesome.
huge ass crowd. Everybody out there knows that we don't, us veterans don't do well with crowds.
We don't do crowds.
So it was stressful, but I was able to, block a lot of it out, and it's like, hey, here we're here.
Yeah.
And everything else. So it's yeah.
Dude, yeah, your pictures were fantastic. Like, you know, it's something I've hit the stage in my life where like seeing these moments in I put that post up the other day about like your friends or acquaintances in high school that you never even talked to. Like I get excited seeing their successes, right? It's the same with all I love seeing fucking people's family pictures and good times and shit. I'm so soft now with it. It's not even funny. I love it. I fucking love that part of me.
Yeah.
So I see here, I see the princesses with Madison and like the everything, like it just right here. It was awesome.
I did some things. I went from my game room to the couch to the bathroom.
Attaboy.
I went to a couple stores.
Yeah,
and that's about all I got.
that's progress.
Yeah, but you got some time with the girls though.
I did get some time with the girls and they were well. Got a group with them. Played basketball. Actually, I went and attempted to play basketball. And then,
Yeah, no, I understood what you were saying.
Yeah.
That sounded painful.
Right?
It
My
was,
back hurts right now.
yeah, it was painful, but there were a couple of variety playing patches on, and
Mm-hmm.
my oldest wants to play basketball and soccer, so that's what I get to do out of here.
There you go.
See,
Good luck. Good luck with that.
That's epic, right there, man.
Yeah.
So let's let's talk about how everybody's doing with their anxiety and depression and stress.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
Day for that.
Let's hit it. Let's hit it right in the gut.
We're just jumping right into the fire.
So I can go first, man. I've been doing this new program called CPT therapy. It's basically what it boils down to. It's trauma therapy with the VA. So yeah, I got a whole packet of shit that we worked through in 12 weeks, and tons. Like when I say a packet, like
Gross. I throw that fucking shit right away. Like, good for you for still having it. Like, kudos to you for still having that, because that thing would have fit in the trash in a second.
Well, they and I get prescribed work every week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So last week it was 7 ABC worksheets that basically has you talking about what your pissed off moments are.
Yeah.
And what your belief / stuck point is. And then with the consequences, basically what you feel about the situation, what you could tell yourself differently in the future. And it was pretty interesting to actually go through some of that shit and just like, man, like the negativity that I tell myself on a daily basis is like something you don't realize how much negative you talk to yourself more than positive about things.
Hold that thought real quick. It says you are really quiet.
How about now?
You should put it in your mouth, and it works
Yeah.
better. Like,
All
glad
right,
everybody
how
can enjoy that.
about now? All right, looks like we're really up. But yeah, it crazy how much negativity you talk about yourself on a daily basis.
It is. It's bad. Like, and how sometimes like I'm not even like today was the day. Right this morning, I woke up and my brain literally said, "Why the fuck did you do that?" That was the first thing that my brain said to me when this morning. And then I'm in such a good mental health place that I literally like said to myself in my own head, like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, what do you mean? I haven't even got a second to take a breath yet. In like a conscious breath. And my brain's already like just fucking go back to sleep forever. You know, it's but and then here's the thing. Like that packet of paper, I joke because I hate paperwork, but that paper is the tools that I have gone through for the last 2 years to be able to know that
Right.
that's just fucking false information sent in my head by my depression demon. And not that it's okay, but it's like I've gotten to a place where I know I'm going to get through it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be honest about it. Being honest about, like when I told everybody today I'm fucking in the pits, I am. My depression is all-time maximum. I hate myself today, right? But I'm still this way because of this, right? Because of all this. This is why the tools and the things, what you're doing, where are you right now in that trauma, like in your head, right? So you're doing this paperwork. I'm just trying to envision the situation. You're doing this paperwork. You're reading the question. What happens then? Do you immediately start telling yourself bad things, or do you dive into the question on the paperwork? Because I know seeing things is different, you know?
So what it was about is basically like what pissed you off. You know, what one event that you can remember throughout the day that just like made you mad.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did you tell yourself, you know, at that time? What was going in your head? Like you basically had to analyze your event for the day, analyze what you told yourself and how you felt. So whether it's like, you know, everybody's worked on something and they've smashed their hand with a hammer, you know how bad that pissed you off, right? Just smashing your hand or something with your hammer can just make you mad. And
Yeah.
then you tell yourself is like, man, why can't I ever do anything right? And you just throw that damn hammer, right? Or why does everything have to break? And you throw the hammer. And then, you know, so that's what you tell yourself. But how does it make you feel at that point in time? Like, damn, I suck at this. Like, you know, what, why am I feeling like this? And
Yeah.
then basically the after points is like, you know, the questions are my thoughts above and column B realistic or helpful? You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
your thoughts could be realistic, but are they helpful to your mentality and how you feel about things and stuff like that? And then the last one that really just like kicks you in the gut is like, what can I tell myself on occasions in the future?
Oof.
Like, you know, it's like, we'll take an example, and I'll spit it out there. Like I was trying to talk to some of my immediate household family about, you know, my personal feelings and how things make me feel, and it's new to me and it's new to everybody else about me opening up about my feelings, and it was like dismissed and basically, and it's no fault of them because it's not something they're used to, right? And we talked about how their feelings were, how me opening up about my feelings made them feel immediately, made me feel like my feelings were dismissed, and like I have nobody to talk to, right? Those were
Right.
my three columns, right? So, and yesterday when we were unpacking all this with the therapist, she was like, but you have people to talk to. You know what I mean? Like I put down in the last question, what can I tell myself on such occasions in the future? Like I I was like, I don't know what to tell myself in the future. You know, I'm not there yet with fixing myself in my head. And she was like, but this is something you can put down and try to remember that you have friends and family that you can talk to. Right.
Right.
And a
Yep.
lot of times,
999.
as if, right. So a lot of times in us veterans, we go through like, well, fuck, who do I talk to? Who can I talk to? And immediately you're like, dude, I have no one. But in reality, you do have people, you know,
Absolutely.
right? You got friends and family that's been there, done that, goes through it with you and everything else. But yeah, this week's homework's going to be a real gut wrencher.
Yeah.
I got to write a trauma narrative. So
Yep.
to include all the sensory details and everything else like that. So it's probably going to be a 10-pager.
That's good though. And I just want to commend you on even fucking like you're doing this, man. Like we know how hard it is to get the help, like to actually ask for the help. And like part of the reason why we feel like we have nobody to talk to is because we don't think we should have anybody to talk to. It's
You're
that
right.
thing in ourselves to say like nobody should have to deal with me. If I fucking step on this grenade myself, nobody else gets hit. Right? And like that shit is that's the trickery. Like that's the stuff telling you you're not worth it. So when you're talking to somebody who's there, you still feel alone. And it's tough. And this is just the tools. Doing what you're doing is going to change that cycle. It's going to change the way that you start perceiving things in life. I promise. Like if you do the work, I promise things are going to change. I can sit in the shit and still be here with you guys all day because I'm changing perception. Let me use my negative energy today for good. Bam, 999. Right?
Right.
So it's kind of like that new song by Dash, "To Be a Man."
Yeah.
Where it starts off, "I can't hide myself. I don't expect you to understand. I just hope I can explain what it's like to be a man." So, like, obviously, we're talking about veterans, we're talking about military and veteran stuff, but in general, we're talking about being men.
Yeah.
Yep. And nobody can understand that because, not everybody's a man. But basically, as a man, whether it's a veteran man or non-veteran man, we're expected to carry the weight. We're expected to do everything. We're expected to be strong. And it's hard because you want to just break down. You want to talk to somebody, but you don't know how to talk to somebody because what if you talk to that somebody and they're just like, well, your job as a man is to do this. And it's like, well,
Suck it up.
right. Like,
right.
what the fuck? Like, I really am trying to break down. So, you're going through right now, Mark, that you were talking about, and how you were trying to talk and all that. It's not only just because of being a veteran. It's not only because of the demons and the things like that, but it's our persona as a man.
Yeah.
And that's why
No doubt.
it's easier for us to talk to other men, but at the same time, we want to talk to other men that feel the same way or have experienced the same things because there's men out there that think they're just a threat in the world, and you talk to them and they're like, "Oh, bitch."
Yeah.
Well, as veterans, and we joke with each other and call each other bitches all the time. But when it comes down to it, you're not a bitch. You just are struggling, and that's okay. You're allowed to struggle. We're allowed to struggle. We have to struggle.
Yeah.
But in society, we're not allowed to struggle. So,
And I'm seeing a shift in it, which I think part of what is happening right now, this is the movement of the shift. I don't know if you've seen these TikToks of these ladies out there doing it too, like showing men's mental health, explaining how we're expected to be this thing, and if you don't live up to the expectation, you are. We've started movements with this kind of stuff because you're absolutely right. Like the pressure that, and it's pressure that I didn't even know I had until you really start unpacking it, right? It's like it's just came with being a guy growing up. Like this is the way that life is supposed to be for you, and then we're starting to realize that that's not the case. We don't have to be that. Strength comes in very different ways. It's not just lifting up a fucking heavy box. It's maybe opening up your mouth and telling somebody that you love them, things like that.
Right.
And that's I think the most important part of this whole thing is you bring awareness, we talk about the things that we're feeling, and then we start bringing some solutions. How can we change the fucking mold? And this right here is a way to do it.
Right. And
And
to piggyback on what Daniel said in the chat, he said talking to a woman that has been through the same experience helps a lot, where someone that has no idea but says, I have been there. And
Yeah.
that's the problem. See, that's the problem, not just with men, but in society in general, is
Yeah.
the generic response to somebody saying to when you, like, say, I ask you how you doing. But if you started really telling me how you're doing, and I was the type of person to just, oh, I'm just doing this because that's what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
I'm not going to and be like, oh, hey, I'm busy. But a true person that wants to help you and wants to understand you isn't going to just say, oh, man, even
Yeah.
though they know they haven't. They're going to say blatantly, I can't relate, but I can offer this or I can offer that. And that's how it is in the whole. So many people are just like, well, I got to get this generic the expression. I gotta pretend that I care. And yeah, I think maybe society in some aspects is changing and society in some aspects isn't. But until we as a whole society change that and people actually start getting the damn, it's going to be the same way. And
Yeah.
then you talk on the veterans, and that the veterans are the ones that have the, we go through what we go through. We have, I feel like veterans have the majority of the mental health issues in America, or probably in other countries. To top it off, we have the rich and foundation of healthcare. And some of that's how we got. Right? We don't get, we can't afford private insurance and all that. So then we just get thrown back and forth between the VA and they're just like, well, we need to go see this person. Well, it's in their head, so you should go see this one. It's like, well, we're just getting passed back and forth now. Like, well, somebody
Yeah.
actually give it in, or somebody just could, you're just making a paycheck. So, you know what I'm saying?
and right, and you're 100% right. And like when I started this program with the VA, like when I was on the phone with the social worker, is what who does the intake. It's like, look, man, I don't expect a cure out of this program, but what I
Right.
do want out of this program is the fucking tools to be able to help myself in those deep dark situations and potentially pass those tools and techniques along to others that may need it. That's why I kept the workbook. You know what I'm saying? And like, hey, I can pass it along. I got it in PDF version, so I will put the link up on the website probably this evening, and so people can look through it.
I like that.
And
That's really cool.
but it's a tool basically, just like you need a hammer as a construction worker, or you know, I I need the hammer. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I needed a new hammer, and that's what this is. Is this workbook? This therapy is a hammer. And then, you know, we have talked offline before quite a bit. Then you start looking at the chemical imbalances that the high adrenaline and stuff like that, like the cortisol that rushes through your bloodstream,
Yep.
kills 90% of the good hormones you need. Like for guys, it's testosterone. The cortisol just kills testosterone in men. Um, and I haven't done a lot of research about cortisol in women, and the high stress environments and adrenaline. Uh, but as far as men goes, testosterone helps regulate so much for guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy how many veterans and police and fire and EMS and doctors that encounter high stress environments and adrenaline spikes test low for testosterone. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Just take Blue Chew. I'm just
What'd you say?
Just like this for I keep saying stupid to make it for it, and when they were streaming on the
Yeah.
Facebook or some shit, I don't know, and I just saw I wrote down like why
That's a
don't
good
you
way to segue.
why don't
That's a
you
good
use an
segue.
average fucking person instead of you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. We don't advertise for Blue Chew, just so whoever's watching.
Yo, but
However,
if you want to get involved, though, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you want to be down, then
we're open for sponsorships.
We'll talk to you.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there. But no, I mean, it's and like Daniel said, yes, testosterone and estrogen, and then if one is off, there will be a problem. And unfortunately, with that being stressed, that's the issue is one or both is off, and and basically the inside of them is off. And then tap on that veteran and you start on with mental health and depression and PTSD and anxiety and this and that and the other. And then all of a sudden the whole world was just like, well, fuck you, have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Here, buy a Bluetooth. I'm just kidding.
Blue Chew, we're here. We are here.
Oh, I quit.
And so with all those, the list of all that stuff, right? And here's the other side. When you start attacking that list, you cannot do them all as a big one. And I think that's part of the reason why we struggle so much with getting help or continuing help. Because like I haven't seen my therapist in a really long time. Right? I just haven't needed it. I'm doing my thing, and I'm fucking doing in therapy way more daily than I have been going to therapy. Like this shit is a job at this point. So with that being said, I take the pieces aside. So okay, today depression's my motherfucker. I don't have anxiety today. It doesn't even get to live today because my depression is so fucking high that anxiety doesn't even have a voice right now. So I'm going to work on this one thing, right? And Mark, like you were talking about the chemical imbalance, you started working on that part, right? It's little things that, getting research, doing all this stuff, the little things like that. Once you take all of those very real lists that you said, Nate, all that very real stuff, once you start breaking them down into subcategories, they get manageable. So like it's the biggest thing that I try to do is I try to break everything into a subcategory and like how much can I bang out of this subcategory today to make it I feel accomplished. I might not feel good. I'm not saying that, I'm going to work on my depression, then I'm going to be not depressed at the end of the day. Fuck no. Everybody knows that don't happen. But I feel accomplished because instead of sitting here and letting it beat us, we rose above it and we used it to do something and didn't let it win. So even though I'm still depressed, it doesn't get to win the fucking day. I'm doing the most important thing of my life right now with you guys. So it doesn't get to win.
And I mean, just look at the analogy. Like you can't eat a whole pie in one single bite.
Yeah.
That's what it is if you look at.
Well, that depends on what's in the pie.
Depends on the pie.
I know some big mouth motherfuckers. Like,
I mean, just look at a tiered. We'll throw it out there. Look at a tiered wedding cake.
Oh
right?
shit! Yeah.
So you can't eat a whole wedding cake in one single bite. You have to take little bitty bites at a time.
Yeah. Yep.
So and that's what you're doing. When you break your overall issues down to small layers, and then you take small bites out of those layers, then eventually you're still. You're chewing at the problem and you're breaking, you're eating at it, and eventually you're going to overcome it. It's just the fact of you still need to have the tools in the toolbox to be able to, to fix it. If you just use your hands, shit gets messy, right?
Absolutely.
So that's where the fork
ladies,
and
it
knife
does get
and
messy.
comes.
Just saying.
Just putting that out there.
Just putting it out there.
That's what you use Blue Chew.
Blue Chew. We're here for you. It's gonna be so funny if Blue Chew fucking finds us. Actually,
Oh,
I'm
100%
your
not
boy's on a
sponsored by
mission.
Bluetooth
yet. Right. We're not 100% not sponsored by Bluetooth. Keyword yet. We'll see in a little bit.
no, we'll see. I gotta quit.
No, but you're right. That's just having those subcategories for your problem helps you manage the overall expectations of daily life. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
It's
that's
kind
what it
of
is. Like,
it's kind of like an outline, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like you do outlines like I do outlines for my school. We've done a couple outlines for podcasts. It's like an outline. You take the outline, you start with the introduction. The introduction is obviously the issues, right?
What are
So
we
then you
working on? Yeah.
right, so then you start breaking down into like the body. You start getting the certain spots that you work, and we're doing what I said in chat. It's the smaller ones that count. You start with the small, then you start working up to the big. Once you start getting the smaller ones, the small wins, then you can start getting the big wins because, oh, I fixed this. Now I'm working on this. And obviously, you're going to have backtracks, right? So maybe like a rough draft, you're going to have to turn it in a couple times. Oh, I got to make some changes. So you could be working on it and still have a couple issues.
Yeah.
So then you're going to have to backtrack, or like they call it speed bumps. You back up, you hit the speed bump, right? So I hit that one a little too hard. I damaged this, so now I got to fix this, and we're going to have that. But the problem is that the stuff continues to keep going and going and going, and you just keep getting bad after bad after bad, and you keep getting, you know, this news or that news. Then that's when you start backing yourself up, and then you start putting yourself in the corner, and then you start literally removing yourself from everything.
Yes.
You don't enjoy activities anymore. You don't enjoy anything. And unfortunately for me, recently I've kind of gotten into that phase where I mean I put on a nice show. I can try to enjoy life, especially because I mean I do have a good one. Right? She is there for me for everything. But at the same time, there's a lot of things inside me where, you know, like with my kids that I got going on and things like that. I literally, after yesterday, just felt, well, I still feel I'm really in the corner and I don't want to get out. I don't want to move out. Like right now, I just don't want to do. I don't want to be. I don't want to feel. I don't want to do any of that. And that's when I decided that, you know, this was a good idea to do this today because we need to get it out there and you know, talk and laugh and joke and talk about it too. That we're not partnered with at all.
Yet.
Yeah. Yet.
But that's the problem though. Is for some people, no matter how hard they try, they feel like, all right, well, I did this, but now 10 more bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have the support system. That's why we have the buddy system, like who we just check in on each other and things like that. So if you start doing that with people, the more they're going to feel like they're alone. What happens when you feel like they're alone?
I mean, the depression demon starts winning.
Like,
And for some people, you know, analyzing themselves sounds a lot better than being on the surf. And again, with veterans, it's a lot worse, right? They're going with that pandemic and their healthcare, and they don't feel like they're getting help.
Right. For real.
Like me, I'm still waiting to hear back from an appointment for a regular therapist. They send a call, or well, they should be calling you, and I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll call them and I'll get a voicemail number and do a voicemail. They don't hear me.
Oh no.
And then my other appointments, I was scheduled months at a time, and it's like, well, I waited for 6 months. If I would have told you that I'm fine, why is my pain doctor appointment in July and August? Like, that doesn't make no sense. It should be like within the mix. And I get doctor busy to hire more. Really hire more. Hell, every VA I've been to, they're always remodeling and there's got construction going on. So
right, maybe employ some fucking doctors instead of working on your walls that are fine.
Like it just don't make no sense. But no, I mean, in all reality, I completely forgot what I was doing just because that's still my mind. But
No, I feel that. I do it all
no,
the time. But the general gist is fuck the VA at this point, because they just don't care about us. Like, they don't. And and again, when I say this, I don't fucking mean the people. I don't mean the workers. Like, my physical therapist, she was the best. She was amazing. Like, she was so good at it. She worked all the way up to like the 3 days before she had her baby. Like, that's how much she cared about vets and everything. I'm talking about the organization, the political side of it, the fucking federal governmental side of it, the basic organization of it, the way that they have taken efficiency, completely ripped it apart, not wanting to do any of it. Like, they literally, you have to try to be so inefficient as possible to be as inefficient as the VA. Like, you have to make it your main goal is to make it as hard as possible to get any service and to get any care. And that's what they did. We should literally be able to take a card. We should be able to walk into any doctor in the country and be able to get care. That's how the VA should work. We have a VA card and we can go fucking anywhere, because the other doctors are also smart. It's not just VA doctors that can make decisions on things. There's ones out there that are not using antiquated and outdated fucking, medical procedures. There's new stuff there's mushrooms. There's psychedelics is getting part of mental health treatment. There's ketamine. Ketamine is being used to treat anxiety and depression. They're so fucking far behind everything. Get some professionals in here, some real doctors, and let them transform the system. Let them do it the right way. And then all the words, all these fucking pill bottles that have these stupid shits on the top that they really don't care, but it keeps saying these fucking numbers and everything, then they'll mean something. It'll be real because they'll have it backed.
That's the problem, though, is people leave the VA because, like Daniel said, and like I've said multiple times, my time with the VA is it's not always the employees, it's the system, the government, the higher ups that run the VA. And a lot of these doctors and a lot of these nurses and a lot of these workers in general, they don't like the system. So they leave.
Real quick, my brother-in-law and his wife are both doctors at the same VA hospital. They haven't gotten a raise in 9.5 years. 9.5 years. They have been working for the same hospital and they haven't gotten a raise. They don't care, like you said, they don't care about the workers.
Right. That's so there because they want to have veterans.
Exactly. They love doing what they do.
There's people they still like that, but it's also they have to want to.
Oh, change the system.
They want to change the system, and they know that the system can't be changed because the government they were there for it.
Right.
So they move on. And
right.
That's okay too. Like, I mean, I'm out of them. Like, I talked to a couple. I know a couple doctors at the beginning about it. Like, well, I took a position at a different hospital that's not even moving. And that's the way it is. But it's not going to change. Like, they're not. They're really going to be the same way it is 10 years, 20 years from now, because what is a few people going to do? Like, you know, a whole shit ton of people. Like, I mean, thousands, millions of people.
Or just nobody's like the right people.
Right, but nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to stand up.
No.
Yep. You're 100% right, and that's the thing is, like, they're maintaining what little control they have over the rest of our lives as a government entity. You know what I'm saying? Like, the military controlled almost every aspect of our lives while we were in, but now the VA is trying to do the same. So, and that's the thing, man, is we as veterans need to band together and like keep pushing for more changes.
Yeah.
And just think about it, like the Secretary of the Department of Affairs is nothing more than a politician.
Yep.
Basically, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Not a, he may have been a doctor or not,
but it's not a requirement.
Yeah, it's not. Like, basically, they're still running it as a business for the government, and not as, we need to start saving people's lives.
Yep, exactly.
I think I saw another one, sidestorage.com, where it said, it was a picture of the VA and it said, as if your first war while you're in wasn't enough, welcome to your second war.
Yeah, that's fucking
Or something like that. And I was like, man, that's
That
like the
hits.
truest thing I've ever heard. Like, that's legit what it is, because that's what it is for
Except
veterans.
this war's alone.
Men, women, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you're basically doing it without
Your brothers and sisters.
Yeah. And for female veterans, male veterans, that's what it is. We're literally at war now, outside of the war that we already fought. And it's not just the war within our head. I mean, it's the war that we go, like, it's a battle.
The care war. The war with my state that doesn't think I'm a veteran enough. Couldn't find. I don't understand. Like, I couldn't pull my DD-214 from my records because I didn't have enough training. Dude, I don't again, let me remind everybody, I am 100% disabled from the military. Okay, I collect disability under the military. How do I collect disability and they don't have enough but all of my information, by the way, that they sent me in the mail was there. All of the training, they're just like, we don't have enough information to send this paper to you. I literally looked at it, I'm just like, what does that even mean? What more could you possibly need? I'm 100% disabled, and you're literally sending me copies of all of the training that I've had. It's there. Boot camp, A school, everything, the fucking all that. How? So this is where do you go now? This is where the give up happens. This is what I was telling about how inefficient it is and how much they try to be so inefficient. I don't even know who to talk to next, what to say, or how to even decipher this information in a logical manner to these people. Because you literally sent me my record, but didn't send me the thing that I needed inside of that record. Like, what the fuck? So that's the VA, and that's the service in a nutshell. Like,
basically.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, you parted, so we don't care.
That's it. What's that day happen when you're out? Fucking see you later. That's.
Once I got my DD-214 blanket, they kind of just gave up on me.
You just become another number at that time, anyway. I mean, you just added to the number that you were in the service, and they added a couple more numbers to you. So
yep,
it's basically all it is. But
you're right, Daniel, you're right. People stopped caring. That's the problem.
So the comment is, it's the gap of learning once supposed to be on paper to the age of them. Let's do as little as possible. Meanwhile, suicides and mental health are the biggest problems with vets. People stopped caring.
Yeah.
I think that means like F them. So I think he's saying F them. Let's do it as little as possible. And that's the problem. Like, see, I didn't find the dotted line to volunteer to save my country to get shit, but I did find the dotted line to volunteer to serve my country and possibly give up my life. Yeah, hopefully, if something happened, which obviously with a lot of us where I had to say go we all have issues, then I would be properly taken care of. Oh, damn, no, you're good, man. I don't think YouTube's gonna
be vulgar.
Yeah,
fuck shit, bitch, cock, cunt.
Right. But no, but that's just the teacher.
Go.
Yeah, just
say that last line again.
What?
Properly care? No.
Fuck shit, bitch.
To be properly, to be properly cared for.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Right. And
that's the main line.
Well, and I did it for the free food on Veterans Day. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. If I could go in public,
I did it just for people that really think that I did. I really didn't do it for free food. It's supposed to. That's the problem. I mean, that's where we volunteered, right? We're not in the draft. We're in the drafting years. Obviously, we know Vietnam era people are still fighting and properly taken care of. But we volunteered, we signed our name, we put our name on that dotted line, took an oath.
Yeah.
So if I took an oath to possibly give my life for you, why don't you take that same kind of oath or an oath in a way to properly take care of me.
That's a sticky mindset to get into. You for me, me for you thing. That's tough because like where does that end? Where does the give like? I know what you mean by it, but it's
Right.
that is a very
Well,
takes it down a negative mindset for sure.
right. No, and I get that. I guess I would have been a little bit properly,
No,
but
I know
that's
what you're
me.
saying. Yeah,
But and some most people hear what I'm saying, but no, you're right. And again, I didn't sign into the dotted line to benefit myself in a way, like you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't expecting for it.
right.
But the fact that we're living out here and veteran suicide rate is
Right.
high, and they're doing it in the real parking lots, or they're going home and doing it, and all for rent them.
Right. Right.
So,
Well, that free meal, but that was
yeah, I would say, I mean, I get that every Veterans Day.
you know, I've never gone out on Veterans Day.
Same.
I've never. Listen.
Started
I just don't like. I'm too afraid to be in the like group of veterans doing like it was. It always fucked my head up. Every time I fucked my head up.
I'm not in a group. I started it with my grandfather, who was a Vietnam veteran.
See, that's what's up. So you guys do it. Yeah.
He passed away, and
Yep.
instead of stopping, I was like, well, I'm going to, because I mean, my grandfather was my hero. Like,
Right.
a lot of boys or boys or whatever, they died for heroes. Like, no, my grandpa was my hero. So he was like super excited because me and him were the only army people. Everybody else was the Navy or the Air Force.
Right.
Um, and so when I got out, and he had actually never went on Veterans Day,
Yeah.
which because he didn't reserved. Like, I love my grandpa, but every time I was on grandpa, I heard the same story over and over, right? But so one day, one Veterans Day, I was my grandpa, and the man was like, yeah. He was like, why? And I was like, well, we get free food. And he was like, oh, I like food.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like food too. So you wouldn't be able to tell if you looked at me, but I love food. But so we did it Veterans Day. And literally, I only heard about from the next year, and from other people, like other family members, was how much we loved it. So for the first couple of years, we did it. Well, he got really sick and he died. So it was like, I couldn't give up. It's a tradition, and I'm not going to stop it.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
he was a sticker for home. So now I go out and I eat food, and I
Have that
always
memory.
I always have an extra fold just sitting there empty for
That's
him.
baller.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just me though. That's my tradition. Like, I didn't join the military for it. For actually, to be honest, I didn't even realize Veterans Day until after I joined the military. And I talked to some dude that had been on for, I think, like 10 plus years. And he was like, he said something about Veterans Day, and I was like, what? And he was like, oh, yeah, November 11th, Veterans Day. You're free food. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then when I went out, when I started with him, that's when every year so far, if I'm working, I'll take it off. But that's my tradition. I go and have breakfast and then have lunch. And I say chill for home because that's what we did.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
that.
awesome.
Oh, can I hit
So-
on Daniel's thing real quick with the
Yeah,
negative
right.
mindset thing? Daniel says, "How can you not have a negative mindset? You made an agreement on paper, just to be screwed every way possible. Because the biggest thing to remember, it's not just vets, it's families too. But you're not being screwed every way possible. You're just being screwed by what's going on in your mind, and the VA and stuff. Like there are positives. Like look at this right here. Look at these people. Look at all you guys in chat. The veterans that have been in chat. The only way to not have a negative mindset is to try to push yourself out of it. That's it. That's the only way to do it. That's the only way possible. It is inherently, it's shitty. The situation is already shitty. So we can either live in the shit and have shit lives and shit days every single day, or we can continue to have shit days every day and try to make our minds not be shit.
Take
That's the
pushing.
only way. And it doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work all the time. And it's okay to be angry and it's okay to be fucking pissed off, because I am too. But it's not okay to let that control every piece of you and change who you really are on the inside. You got fathers and you got brothers and sisters and cousins, and there are people in your lives that love you and love us, and they deserve to have the best version of us. So we keep pushing each other to be the best version that we can be. You pushing yourself. It's a support system. That's the way that you get out of a negative mindset, is you start getting a support system that forces you out of it.
And then little by little, those family members that don't understand what you're going through, especially ones that aren't veterans and things like that, then you can start opening them up.
Yeah.
But even then, there's still things that you're going to not open up with, unless it's somebody that's a veteran per se, because they're going to understand. You know, we can't go out to some random person or even our loved ones. I mean, some of them don't understand them. It's okay. They're not bad people. They're not negative people. And they may want to help us, but how do we talk to them knowing that they're not going to understand?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're supposed to fill them in on certain things, but you can't fill them in on everything that they don't understand, and that's the problem.
Yep.
There's then relationships like that where people split up because, well, I tried to help, but you didn't understand. So,
Right.
So if you're upset because if he didn't come to you to explain this issue that he's dealing with from the military, but he went to someone else, you're hurting it even more because you need to understand that you don't understand.
Right.
So if I go to Mark and talk about something and say, if you want to get upset, well, you didn't come to me. Well, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to not talk to you. I'm not trying to keep secrets. But my military stuff is going to be the best understood by Mark.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Whereas with the stuff I got going on with my kids, obviously that's not military related, and then she's right next to me with all of that, from every single appointment, every single hearing, every single thing. She was right there. But when it comes to my military stuff, now we're kind of pushing the limit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, but if you're two support groups to have, one for close family members to help support you through your whole life. And then you need a support group, especially as a veteran, because, right, I mean, obviously not everybody's veterans, so non-veterans probably do relate better with non-veterans, right? But then you're going to need brother and sister bonds that you got from military or from vets to have your other support group. And then you start building, then you start explaining, and then people start realizing and understanding, like, the guy that's never been to Afghanistan doesn't even understand how I feel an hour in Afghanistan.
Right.
Just like he may have a job that I've never done that maybe stress over him, and I'm never going to understand that because I've never done that job.
Yep.
Or am I a better person than him because I've been observed who isn't? Technically, no. But don't get upset with me because I can't relate to you or you can't relate to me and I don't talk to you about certain things, because then that's just going to cause even more stress, more anxiety, more depression, and then that's going to cause me to, again, fall back into my crowd, get back into my corner and say, fuck everything. I'm just going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. You're 100% right on that. So let's hit a different aspect on this whole demons and where we walk. We're all dads. So how do you manage that with fatherhood? You know, there's days that I just prefer to self-isolate than argue and fight and project all that mentality and darkness onto the kids. How do you guys manage your stuff like that?
I'll start this one. Honesty. It is the you guys have hear how I stream. Like if something is happening in my head, and like I have to explain myself and tell you guys what's going.
Mhm.
Like like, hey, my bad, that just fucking happened. It's because my brain went over to here and did that. Part of the military trauma brings one emotion to pretty much all of us very prominently, and that's anger. Anger is the toughest one that I cope with my kids. So the thing that I have done is the second that they were born, I said, I'm never going to lie to them. And when I'm not going to explain the whole never going to lie. We have to lie to our kids sometimes, right? Like, that's fine. I mean, I'm never going to lie them about realities. Like, I'm never going to hide and from them. And I just have to keep pieces of information out there. So from a very young age, we had talked about death. We talked about mental health. My daughter knows and can literally guide me through public situations because she's 6 or 7 years old, and well, gonna be 7, and she can literally go, Dad, I know that you have to sit in the car because there's a lot of people in there. That's okay. I'll meet you in a half hour or something like that. And it's because from the very beginning, I never wanted her to feel like I didn't love her because I couldn't do certain things at that time. I just wasn't ready to in my mental health journey. So from the very beginning, it was always honesty. It was like, hey, I want to be in there so bad, but because there's so many people and they have all their stuff on the seats and I can't sit and I can't see the exits and this, I'm having a tough time going in there. So I'll be like, do you want me to stay outside the glass here? She's like, no, Dad, you can sit in the car and things like that. That it is the toughest thing in the world to explain to your kids trauma. It is fucking hard. Like, because what do we want to do as parents? Protect them from all of the bad shit in the world. We literally want to take them and just put a fucking bubble around them forever so that nothing can ever touch them. But we would be killing them if we did that. We would be fucking killing our kids if we did that. So we have to step up and go, you know what? You're going to learn. And you're really smart, and kids are listeners. They're sponges. They have no preconceived hatred. They legitimately come out just as pure as possible, and then we have the ability to fuck them up if we want to. Like, that's how shitty it is. So if I'm gonna fuck my kids up, I'm gonna fuck my kids up by telling them about life. I'm not gonna do it by explaining them that Santa brings fucking presents down their thing. And no hatred to anybody who does that. It's just like, I don't want them to think when we have bad financial years, because I had this as a kid, that they didn't get cool gifts from Santa. You know what I mean? So Christmas is a spirit. It's a spirit of giving. Anyway, that's the hardest thing, is being honest with them, but knowing that I have to be at all times, because after you do that honesty bit, that's when you go and you sit in the office by yourself and you stare at the fucking wall because you just had to explain that you can't do things.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's a struggle that I have, is like, I tell them, like, look, man, I'm not okay, but or there's been times that I was not so okay that I would just be like, I'm fine, and or I just tell them I don't feel good. You know what I mean? And that's because I struggled with even remotely trying to talk about anything feeling wise, or the war that rages behind my eyes and above my throat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's the thing is, I've allowed myself to self isolate so much, whether it's playing video games by myself, or just even working on stuff, or supporting other streamers. It's basically still self isolation, because I isolate myself from family members, and in real world events, that's going on around here, that I jump into a virtual world, and hang out with people, or even people I don't know, and just pull them up and watch. You know what I'm saying? And the self isolation thing has been my easy go to. That with CPT is what I'm trying to kind of help get away from, is where I don't have to self-isolate so much.
You know, my self-isolation is easy because it's you.
Yep.
You're in your head. You're in your life. You run your life. You understand your life. So self-isolation, that's our defense coping mechanism, right? So that's our law. Our law is self-isolation. We put that up. But we're good. Where you like you said, you were in the virtual world. So we go down, we listen to music, we research, we do stuff that we're alone.
Yeah.
But then once you're alone too long, then the demons start running, right? Because well, you're in your head while you're sitting there. Unless you're jamming out to some really good music and you can't hear anything.
Tinnitus and music.
Right. Between my music and the rain and the money what the demons are doing, you can't hear them. Which is a good thing too. But you gotta remember that more yourself isolate from people that harm you, from the real people that care, from doing activities, from all of that, it's hard to get yourself out of it.
That's the danger zone. Yeah,
That's
the
the
danger zone.
danger zone.
That's where the demons
I'm
start really
speaking for
grabbing.
you from experience because I'm the same way. See, unfortunately, I don't have my children with me full time.
Right.
Which I work with it, and I'm kind of somewhat working on that. But
Right.
we're not going to get into all that on this podcast. But and I don't really think I'm hitting on still saying that. I do have school, but I get school done like the first day of the week, so then I don't have anything to do. So my self-isolation is every day. And I'm in my head every day. And then you talk on the seasonal depression now with the regular depression and everything. Here in Michigan, and I don't know where you guys do, but I mean, it's May, and it's and
It sucks so bad.
ice and frost in May. In May. Luckily, I don't live in the UP in Michigan because I did. I would have got up to 2 feet of snow. In May.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. We're just getting every day. One day it's like 60, the next is 23 degrees, and there's ice balls falling out of the sky. Like, what the fuck, man?
So when you're like me, and even though you can't do a lot of stuff, but you still like to be outside, and you can't go outside because today's actually kind of nice and sunny. But I don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. Tomorrow can drop a foot of snow.
Right. Right.
So, but either way, seasonal depression, we talk about on, then you start self-isolating more. And that's why they try to tell us, even the good guru and therapists and things like that, is you need to find things to keep yourself busy, which obviously I can't keep myself busy outside if it's 5 degrees outside. I mean, I could.
You fucking can. You got enough determination. You can.
Right.
You don't want to. Fuck that.
If I look like a marshmallow man because I got 85 layers of clothes and everything.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. But we need to keep ourselves busy because the further and self-isolation you get, the worse it's going to be. So then you have on to that with kids, okay? Kids run from watching.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm not saying like this is 100%. I'm not saying that everything I'm saying is written in stone for anybody that's watching too. But kids run from watching. Kids try to learn the most from their parents. So obviously we're learning the most from the parents because they're around the parents a lot more. Whatever. If they see you in self-isolation and they try to learn, okay, well, dad's doing this, dad's sticking themselves, then they start following that example, right? And then they start getting in front of the school, start getting bored, and they don't understand that because dad does it. I feel bad on it. Dad's to blame himself for that. Then, but they don't understand it, right? So, like Pat does, and like I actually do with my kids, especially my son who's 18 now, but even with my 13-year-old and my 10-year-old, which my 10-year-old is getting there. She's not there, but she's getting there.
Yeah.
I try to explain things in a way that I know they're going to understand. My son at 18, he understands a lot. Like he lives on his own, he's got his own job, his own car. that he's paying for everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
I taught him how to be that way because he literally tells me every other day, Dad, thank you for teaching me this, or from you telling me this, or showing me this and that. Right? And that's what I try to do with my kids. My kids know about my issues. They know about my demons. They know about my darkness. They don't know everything. They don't understand some of it.
Right.
And as they get older, they're going to understand. My kids, they know if we go to the store and they're busy, we're either going to go in, we're going to walk after we go into a fire, or if there's a fire, and we need to get out as soon as possible. At the beginning, they didn't understand. Well, Dad, why are you walking so fast? Well, Dad, why are you getting upset because there's a line or because there's people in front of you? So without getting into full detail with a young child, I simply was just like, right now, the issue I have inside, they're getting to me, they're freezing me right now, and I need to hurry up so I can get outside and I can breathe again.
Yep.
That they're a little bit ahead of me, or because he's technically an adult. They understand a little more.
Yeah.
But they watch what you do, and if you cannot be upfront with your children, and I don't mean like super upfront, like you don't want to talk about your sexual life and you show them about it.
Right. Like, I fucked your mom last night so hard.
I totally took a group to don't worry about it.
Right.
I'm not going to go to about it.
Yet.
But if you are upfront about certain things, then they're going to understand them. So it comes back to that self-isolation because they see you doing that, and that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
And that's why kids these days, some kids these days, are the way they are, or are learners. Because, some of their parents were just pieces of shit. But some of their parents probably had mental issues and self-isolated a lot and hid to themselves and did this. And so the child is like, oh, well, mom, dad ain't my friends, so I don't really need to have people either. And then they go from there. Don't root yourself self-out and not self-isolate from prayer. That you're going to struggle even more trying to get out, which is then going to put you even farther in because you're just struggling. You need to keep yourself busy. And again, this coming from a person that literally spends all day every day inside the house in his head, which I should probably start streaming more and start actually doing things. But I gotta figure out a way to get self down to the self-isolation. I have no choice. Like, literally.
Lean on support systems to help you with that. Like, you find out what you fucking need from me to help you get out of there, because that's what I want to do. I want to help that because you have how much you fucking help me, right? Like, that's the shit we need. You're saying all of the right things and doing all of the things that you say don't do. So let's start with something. Like, let's co-stream something soon. You know what I mean? Like, let's get a little piece of that. You can self-isolate all the rest of that shit, but let's fucking set up a time where we can stream together and we can go have a good time. And we can just do that's the thing. Let's just work on a little bit. And then the big thing will get taken care of.
And that's what I'm trying to do with work on the small things, like, because I bring this up, the small ones count.
Yeah,
unfortunately, really with a small thing that I'm trying to get a small one, I can't even get a small one.
All right. Well, we're gonna get that shit. We're gonna figure that out.
I just dropped all the links.
Trying to find a doing job is trying to find the juice spot for some people.
Especially in this day and age.
Oh shit!
And without Blue Chews.
Without Blue Chews,
who we're not sponsored by
yet.
But
I'm just saying, actually, for me, a small win was something as little as my dog got excited to see me when I got home. And that's dumb, right? Because all dogs get excited.
No, that is not dumb. That is fucking beautiful.
Every time I leave, dude, and I come home, my dog's really sitting there like barking and getting all excited and jumping on me. And I'm just like, yeah, my dog's happy to see me. That's a plus.
Yeah, like that. Fuck yeah, man.
But other than that's my small wins. My
Yeah.
small wins are my animals.
Yeah.
Really cats.
Yeah,
And I
for
hate
sure,
cats.
man.
I hate cats. I'm sorry
I
for
hate them
those
too.
people that do, that don't, but I hate cats. But the cats that I have, I love them cats,
I
man.
love those cats.
My two kittens, that we have, they have a total of 29 toes because they're probably doctor.
Yeah.
And they are the cutest little kittens. We have a black kitten named Midnight, and I'm like, oh, my Halloween tree. That cat literally sushi that's now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look at that.
But
Fucking hates
that's
cats.
my,
He hates
at the
cats.
time, that's my small win. And I know, like, for me, or for others, like, that's a pretty small win. And for me, that's an awesome small win. And I love it. But like I said before, like I want to start getting the big wins, right?
Yep.
So I want all my small wins to build, right? So yes, my small win with my Romano's is great. Yes, hurry. You know, I finally, after 3 years, heard from my daughters after they got home, which that's a lie because I haven't ever heard from them since I've been here. But we're not going to tell. But I want them to keep building and building, and the more they stack and the more they stack, that's when you start getting the big things, right?
Yep.
But it seems like even if I go to small one, then all of a sudden I get 17 things that just start backing me back down. So then I have to leave and come back home just so my dog can be happy to see me and I can end their small anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems to be continue being the same small ones. When nothing is growing, nothing is stacking, nothing is happening because every single day, something else comes and smacks it out down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at right now, and that's why I'm stuck against the corner, and I'm trying to get myself out of it. I'm doing it would be a lot easier if I could just go outside and enjoy being outside, but I can't enjoy being outside because 5-degree weather and but
It's
I'm
60
trying.
degrees here in Kentucky.
Okay,
I'm just gonna throw that jab in there.
right now.
Fuck you, Nate. It's 60 degrees up in this bitch over here.
We're not talking to you now. You're no longer able to talk.
I got roofers putting a roof on my house. It's like 25 outside. I don't even know how.
I'm literally telling you bring to a bunch of times a day.
Yet.
Yeah. You need to move to Kentucky, Nate.
After, I guess I could also say that another small win for me is I'm doing good in school, and I do what I can to find like the good things, the really small victories and the small positive things.
Yeah.
But when I don't have nothing, I don't have kids that get to come out and see me that do this or that. I don't have my fiance, and that's awesome. Again, but that's a whole different level, right? That's a different part of the support group. So when I'm by myself, I don't have anything. So when bad things keep coming and coming, I just get hunted down even more and more. And then I get to the point where I don't want to do anything, and I don't even leave my house. And then you for me to leave my house because my dog gets excited when I come home. I still don't leave my house because I can't get that motivation. And the reason I'm telling you, Mark, you can't get too far in self-isolation is because I don't want you to be with my boat. I don't want you to be where I am. Because it's not a fucking
You need to get the
phrase.
fuck out of your own boat, guy. Like, you worried about Mark right now? I think we're going to spin this bitch right back to you.
I built this thing in my bare hands. This shit ain't going nowhere. And I try to use that joke, or basically it's like a mask,
Yeah.
People are like, why do you spend so much time at home? And I'm like, well, because that's what I pay for, and my stuff is there.
Yeah. Yep.
But in all reality, that's possibly true, but the majority of it is just because I don't have the motivation to decide to go anywhere because I don't want to be around people. I don't want to do things. I just want to sit at home because I can just not look like a psycho talking to myself and battling shit.
Right.
But I built this fan boat with my bare hands.
Right. Well, here's the deal. Well, here's the other thing. Mark got a new hammer in his toolbox and shit, and maybe it can tear some fucking boats down. So you might want to, get some of that hammer material.
Yeah,
Like that, that PDF file, dude. Like, Mark, are you gonna share that is that shareable with everybody? that
Yeah, I'm
packet?
going to.
'Cause
It's all blank. It's a blank packet. So yeah, it's
I'm gonna print it
it's
out and I'm gonna
something
fucking
that's
do that. I'm gonna do that too.
yeah,
I kind of what I want to
yeah.
do is I
It's
want to
really
stay
good
on
shit.
level with you. I want to catch up to where you're at, and then get to where you are. I think it'd be really cool, Nate. How on board are you with this? If we all did a small, like we did a short podcast weekly, where we kind of go over that week's packets of shit, if we want to,
Oh yeah, dude.
and
Like
then
I could do it right after my session, so
right,
I know exactly how she guided that work for the week.
and we can
So
do
that's good shit.
pseudo. It's just it's not therapy because we're not therapists. It's just conversation, and we're also not sponsored by Blue Chew yet.
Yeah.
But we could do that. We could come up with some stuff.
Technically, I'm not a licensed therapist,
No,
but
you just say that. That's it. That's where you end that
okay,
statement.
I'm
I am not a
licensed
licensed therapist. That's it.
Um,
And it's a study group, not a
Yes.
yeah, we're studying.
yeah.
And then that way we can show, like, Mark, I don't, again, this all goes on how comfortable you guys are with it. Mark, it's your thing. I'm just fucking like I'm just like, this would be like you're doing the therapy, so if you're not comfortable sharing all this stuff with people, that's fine. I don't want to be like, yo, unpack all your fucking trauma live in front of everybody every week. But if we could do like take pieces of it, because there's obviously going to be some stuff that's less severe than others, and we could start talking about that kind of stuff. And like Nate,
Okay,
I think this would be a small step to breaking that self-isolation.
Yeah, I agree.
It really would.
I agree with Daniel too.
So
And you can do it without fear of judgment and causing more demons.
Yeah.
You can be you without fear, and that's 100%. And that's why I like to sit at my house.
Yeah.
And I do too, man. But it's still like I can self-isolate at home from the world, but the fact that self-isolation has led me to self-isolate from my family, and that's the problem that I'm trying to work on.
Yep.
So so I'll throw this out there as we come close to ending this podcast. Is this week's work, boys, is take the one trauma event that keeps you up at night, that gives you the most problems, and write a narrative about that trauma event to include sensory details. Your sight, smell, hear, your sounds, and stuff like that. So that's the homework that I'm working on this week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like send out something in Discord or something because I got ready for that. What you just said. Because I wanted to, and I wasn't listening because that's me. I got so much shit going nonstop in my head. That's like all we're trying to do for one of my tests. I had to do some like really small survey testing about and it was dealing with facial recognition. And the first three went. But then the next three playing, and then I forgot the first three. And after the next two after that, I forgot the second three. And that's just my mind right there. Like, the mixer, she kind of gives me some shit sometimes because she'll say something and then 2 minutes later, she'll be like, so, and I'll be like, what? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. I've been there.
And then I feel bad because I'm like, well, I'm not ignoring you. I don't want this to be very reactive feeling because I don't. I heard you. I just don't remember what you said, or what you asked, or what you explained, because that's where my mind is. And after I talked to, it wasn't even actually a trained for a therapist to review, it was actually through the CMT when I did my mental health exam with them. And the first question, one of the first questions she asked me is, how's your memory? And it was like, it's about her good or not. Like, she was like, well, if I told you something right now in 5 minutes, would you remember it? And I was like, probably not. I said, I probably only remember it 2 minutes from now because I'm literally thinking of everything else. And that was hard because of depression, because of the mental health stuff. That's the memories of it. Well, it's actually unhealthy, like really unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And So, like I said earlier, I need to probably start seeing a therapist because I need to start letting things out. And it's not that I can't let things out to you guys, because of veterans and things. But there's things inside me that I don't want to let. I don't know
Right.
why, and I don't know when I'm going to be ready, but I'm not at that point yet. And the last therapist I talked to, I was talking and saying some things, and literally all they were doing was looking at me and nodding and saying, yeah, they weren't listening. They just knew they were getting basic. So why would I want to try another one? Yeah, the new one may be different. The new one may listen. The new one may help. But why do I, after having that experience, why do I want to try it again?
Because there's hope.
So,
There's a potential.
well, there's always hope,
but that's
maybe
it.
I don't have that motivation on that. Maybe I need the issue.
Right. So what I'm saying is the only way is to everything's gone when you lose hope. And that's what it sounds like. It's like, you know what? You're like, the next one's going to treat me the same way. And the next one after that, if they're going to treat me the same way, because all these people don't care. But think about it in this way. If you don't give the next one a chance, nothing changes anyways.
Right.
So you may be right. You may be absolutely right. The next one might be shit too. I've probably seen 8 or 9 therapists in my life. 6 of them were shit, and 1 of them saved my life, and 2 of them were very good at their job. But if I didn't keep going, I wouldn't. This me here today probably wouldn't be doing this today with you guys. Like I wouldn't. I mean that in very seriously. I probably wouldn't be in the physical form on Earth today had I not just said nothing is changing because I'm doing nothing and I have to do something. And I went to my doctor. I got a doctor, went to my doctor, and I said to her, she asked me, she goes, do you want to try doing some things differently? And I go, I want to do anything that you tell me to do because I don't want to die, but I want to die. And my doctor's awesome. She's worked with vets. She understands suicidal ideologies versus the whole strap them down to the bed and put them on suicide watch type deal. She was amazing. And we went through this little thing step by step. We started working on each thing very small because she cared. She got me in front of people who cared, and then it worked really well. And I'm telling you that because that's what I want for you. I understand your mentality because for 10 years, that was my exact mentality is these fucking people can't help me. Nobody knows me better than myself. I already know that there's no fucking way out of this. Like, this is the way that I'm going to be. So you're absolutely right because that's acceptable way of thinking. But give yourself the opportunity to think differently, to just switch it up just a little bit. It's all about the opportunity. If it doesn't work, keep trying. Because what's the alternative?
Yeah. Right.
It's shit.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you kind of have to be at a point that you're ready. Like you're sick of yourself.
Yeah.
And
yes.
you want that change.
Absolutely.
Like, even if you're 50% sick of yourself, you're not ready to make that
not at
work
all
or that put in that work to change.
Nope.
You have to be 100% sick of where you're at, sick of what you're doing, sick of who you are to put in the fucking hard work to get where you need to be and change everything about what you're doing wrong.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm at that point. So, I threw a bunch of shit on my plate to like get past where I'm at and be something totally better than I was a month ago. I signed up for the Resilient Mindset program through Veterans Club in Kentucky.
Read the Holy Bible and all that, right?
I don't know about reading the Holy Bible, but I'm just not a religious type of person, man. But it's you read factual books, and factual books, keyword, factual books.
Yeah.
And then, you do 2 45-minute workouts a day, once in the morning, once outside, but one of those workouts have to be, or once in the evening. And then one of those workouts have to be outside, and each workout must consist of a length of 45 minutes. And yeah,
this fucking guy,
regardless,
this fucking guy over here,
regardless of elements, man. Regardless of
fuck that workout.
So
unfollowed.
if it's if it's hailing and tornadoes, I still have to get that workout in.
Dude, if you're dumb enough to do that, that's what's up, my guy.
Yeah.
I'll give you some blue chews.
Which we're not sponsored by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any, but I mean,
Yeah,
I can
man,
send you
it's-
some. I'm sure Facebook always gives me ads.
But yeah, man, as we wrap up, man, and you just got to be ready for the change. So like Sean was saying, let's challenge each other here and hold each other accountable and help with the change. So take that one trauma event that, makes you want to isolate and write a narrative about it as much detail as you want to in your narrative, and you don't have to share what you write on the next episode. Yeah.
What is a narrative?
like a little story,
Like
you're telling your side of a story.
Okay, cool, thanks. All right.
Yeah.
So stupid. I'm like, narrative. Okay, so
Are we moving back? Are we moving to ASMR now or something?
I didn't want chat to be able to hear how stupid I was, so I went quiet. That's how
They definitely
it
do
works,
with
right?
you.
No, they don't hear me.
No,
No, they don't answer.
I don't
Okay,
know.
go ahead. I like that. I like that. Let's do that. I'm gonna write a narrative, which I
Oh,
just learned
yeah.
about today. And I'm the Navy one. That's fucking funny. he's
I'm not
You're
gonna
supposed
tell
to be
you
the
that.
smart
I'm
one.
not gonna tell you that Chat GPT will probably write it for you.
You know how I feel about AI. Can you just get the fuck out of here? It's the scariest thing in the world to me right now.
I bet if you ask
It's
Chat,
already listening to
I
you.
bet if you
know it
ask,
is.
I bet if you ask Chat GPT about Blue Chew, they'll tell you.
They're not sponsored by
Yet,
yet.
Yet.
but we will be.
Dude, I'm fucking hitting up Blue Chew on Twitter. Definitely after this. I'm just saying.
After today.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys being here. Everybody in the chat, love you guys. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And I think that's a wrap for us.
Yeah.
Hey.
Welcome to the Rock Talk podcast, and thank you, everybody.
If you haven't hit
hanging
that
out.
button already, go ahead and subscribe to us free. Help us out,
Yeah.
please. Check out our shorts. We're going to keep doing more. And not the shorts that we wear, the shorts on our YouTube. Even though like cash shorts.
I had to put my shorts on for this one, actually.
Because he doesn't.
He did. You were smoking, and he was like, I got to put pants on.
I fucking did.
Oh, man.
Oh.
It would have been better without pants.
Everything's better without pants.
But he hasn't stood up yet.
That a boy.
Okay, but anyway, no, I
had to have a
appreciate
shirt on for this one.
I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Mark will talk in a little bit.
Yeah.
I love you
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you,
Love
Kyle.
y'all.
No, absolutely. It was a pleasure. We'll do this soon.
Okay.